today, lads. Thanks.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is the first day of the podcast. I'm Baz, Down to the Core podcast. I'm sure you've heard about it for probably the last 2 months or so. And I'm here with Amit, sat right next to me, and John is sat right opposite me. Amit, introduce yourself, man.
Hi, I'm Amit. I'm the IFBB PT, and I'm very fortunate. I'm here with my bro today, Baz and John. First podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, first podcast, man. Yeah, looking forward to it.
We finally got it done.
Yeah.
So, if anybody doesn't know me, I'm John Collins. I am I'm a IFBB Pro men's physique competitor, and happy to be doing my show with my two bros, Amit and Baz. And yeah, this is our show, Down to the Core. Finally here.
Yeah. So we're literally going forward, guys. Me and John and Amit have known each other for a bit now. We've been back and forward about the podcast, and we've got John. First of all, with me, how it came to me, I was just in the gym, and John came over to me and just said, "Me and my boy Amit have got this really good idea. We want to have you be a part of it." And that's how I got involved with it, and I was just excited from the start because of John's passion and Amit's passion, and how we integrate our minds and stuff, how we see well-being, how we see fitness, how we see all-round life, and we bring a different energy. Everyone has a different energy to it, don't we?
Yeah, that's definitely right. I think, ultimately, I think it was something which I thought about from before, and I remember, because I hadn't seen you, Amit, for a long time. We bumped into each other in where we at Costco. Yeah, so I bumped into you at Costco, and then I remember us having a photo, and said, "Listen, we'll stay in contact."
Yeah, definitely.
And then I think we'd had a conversation and spoke about it.
Yes.
And then we was kind of toying with the idea for ages. We was going back and forward with the idea, and then I think the more as it came through, I remember that morning when I went into the gym, but I spoke to you prior.
Yeah, we did
something completely different.
Yeah.
But it was just your energy. It was something that I felt straight away. I was like, so when I saw you, I don't know if I walked away and then came back to you.
Yeah, you looked at me like I had done something wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, John, you're all right, mate.
No problem. I think from there, I remember just saying to you, how would you like to be part of this? And obviously you answered.
I was straight away, pretty much.
You didn't even really think about it.
Nah. And the thing is, though, obviously, Amit, you're not from where we train and stuff. I know, right, so I never properly met you, but I always saw John knocking about the gym. I thought, man, that physique. I was like, because of my genetics and my calves as well. I used to see him, and I thought, I couldn't work you out in terms of, because I knew you talked to everybody in the gym. I used to see you back in the Exercise for Less days as well.
Yes,
at JD Gyms in Briley Hill. And I remember seeing you, man, that guy's physique, man, is jokes. So I just thought, I could see the hard work that you put in and stuff. And I don't know what it was. And then we got connected through Calm Unity.
And through Claire.
Shout out to Claire. And obviously Gaz as well. So that's where we kind of met. And I think if Calm Unity never really happened, we probably would never have connected, but things align well, don't they?
It really does. I think I think that Calm Unity, I didn't get to do what I was meant to do for one reason or another. But I remember as we was kind of ready to go and packing up, I think I just said to you, "Oh, can I have a quick word with you?" But for some reason, I just wanted to speak to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm very much drawn towards people's vibe and their energy.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously we started talking, and lo and behold, we bump into each other. Because prior to that, I think we only saw each other in the gym a couple of times.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, a couple of times. So it was almost like it was meant to be.
100%, mate.
I've got spoke to you. I remember speaking to Amit. I'm like, Amit, I've got the perfect guy to jump on board with us. And then so here we are now. Back and forth with Zooms and WhatsApp messages for the last couple of months, and here we are. It's exciting times.
It is.
See, I want to just briefly touch on how John and I met.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
This is a bit crazy. So shout out to Cock Flex Physique Gym. He introduced John and I. I was doing my first show.
Yeah,
I was dead nervous, and he introduced me to John. Mega John, that's what he
introduced me. Veteran of the game, was he?
But do you know what he said? He said, "This guy's got a world champion physique. Watch him.
Wow,
just watch him." That's all he said. A few years later, turned IFBB Pro.
Wow.
Need I say more? And this guy, Kaka, he's got a heart of gold.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm so blessed he introduced me to John.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we I think we did like a bit of a workout together for my first show.
Yes,
and then
we did. So I do remember like the first time you came in, Cocker was like, "Oh, can you speak to this guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem at all, man." I think like anybody who's doing like obviously what I've done, it's always like nerve-wracking.
That's right.
So I remember like Kaka was saying, obviously I didn't want to speak to you, but I always tell people I'm not really great at the whole posing game or whatever. But like, as soon as I started speaking to you, we just kind of clicked straight away.
Yeah,
100. And I was able just to give you stuff what I was doing like there and then. And then like obviously you've gone through and done your shows and
that's it. Well, I can't still ever forget. Now you couldn't attend with me to the show, but we had a phone call like on the way. I was competing in Hampshire.
Yeah.
40-minute phone call, and it's just what you said. It just instilled into my mindset, and that's what it is, really, isn't it? Because you could do anything, but it all starts from your mind.
100%.
You know, you can't pick up a mug or anything without your mind thinking about it. So you instill that mindset. So when I went out on stage, I felt so confident. I felt like a pro, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Or thanks to John.
No.
Oh, wicked, man. I didn't know you had that influence on each other.
Yeah, I say, because as I say, like sometimes like I understand, like I speak to so many people, and I can always like give like, oh, I've always got like some little gem, or it just depends on if you've caught me with a pre-workout in my system from the gym. I'm going to give you.
Amit likes a pre-workout, does it?
We're talking about that.
11 o'clock at night, man.
If you catch me post pre-workout, I'm going to hit you like with like everything. Yeah. Just.
That's when you asked me about the podcast, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right, because it was early morning. Yeah. I had my coffee, had my pre-workout, and like I was just like bam, 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 on it. But like, yeah, I just remember like I can remember like hearing like the kind of nerves in your voice and saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to this show," and I'm like, "Bro, listen, there's not many people have got to that place where you are right now to even say they're going to get on stage and obviously
I've never been there
and put themselves through whatever it is." But like, I remember saying to somebody like, "You've won already."
That's what I was just thinking of. Yeah. As soon as I stepped foot on that stage,
did you feel confident like that? Like in your bit, like what you achieved in.
Well, when I was lining up, that was the most nerve-wracking thing, getting on stage, because I could see the bright lights. I felt my legs shake and everything. But then I just remembered what John said, and as soon as I stepped on stage, it was like the best drug I've ever had. The feeling I had, I can't explain it.
John, were you competing that day as well?
No, I wasn't. No. I wasn't competing that time. I think I'd competed already. I think what year was that?
2018.
So 2018, I'd done like 2 bros towards. I don't know whether you might have been before or after, but I'd done my first 2 bros in 2018.
Mine was in May.
So mine was April, May. I think mine might have been further on down the line.
Yeah, so I think you was prepping.
Probably prepping him. But like, but I think ultimately this is probably the reason probably why we want to do this, because we've all had separate conversations, and obviously, I mean, like you're Baz, you're more so like obviously, obviously on the wellness side, which I'm into, and Baz, you're into like the. I'm switching.
You should switch it out now.
Baz is on the side, and I mean, and there's something what you've both got, and something which I kind of connecting the two together.
Yeah.
Right. And like this, it's connected with like a lot of things. So it's not just about training, because I always like to say to anybody, like, you train in the way that you do, like it's outside the gym, more so just inside. And obviously, you know, it's all from here, like 100%. All within like your mental wellness and everything else. So, and I think that's pretty much like why it was probably like a good fit for us to try and put this together and do what we're doing, and like and see, and I think it's like we just want to see other people's take and other people's perspective on it, and I think the show is more going to be about like us trying to pick up more. What's what I'm looking for? We're trying to like get like more information and get like more knowledge for ourselves. Yeah, and like share obviously our own like kind of stories and bits and pieces, and so that's where we want to be with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a long time coming. I think this being our first one, for everyone listening, this is our first one we still want to add little bits and things that we want to do. But we thought, you know what, let's just get to be ready. And we were excited. And so you'll be seeing a lot more of us. You'll be seeing a lot of different guests, inspirational guests as well.
100%.
And we want to be picking their brains. And so they can give the knowledge to everybody else, don't we? So, but yeah, I think I'm sure that people want to know more about us, don't they? Who wants to start that one? Shall I start?
Yeah, I'll go. You go. So
my business is Velocity Life and Fitness, and I've been doing. I started off as a personal trainer, and then as the personal training came about, I wanted to bring the wellbeing side. So then I became a qualified life coach and an NLP practitioner. And those who don't know what NLP is neuro-linguistics, and that is, which John, which I basically, for in the most layman's terms possible, is retraining the central nervous system or the brain. That's basically what it is, without going into too much detail. But we can go into detail more as we go into the podcast and stuff if people want to know more about that and how that works. So I work also as a motivational speaker. I do festivals. I do little group things as well. I work for different businesses as well, in and out. And personal training on a one-to-one group, twos, and then also the well-being side. I work with different areas such as traumas, anxieties, depression, all the different areas of fear, and all that kind of stuff, and different ages. So my youngest client's 7. I think I remember mentioning to you, and you didn't realize I work with a 7, youngest 7. But yeah, I work with a 7-year-old, and my eldest is in their 60s. So, and the biggest thing why I kept working with teenagers, because going on to the next part of why I do what I do, is because I went through, I was speaking to Amit just before the podcast, that I went through body dysmorphia. And body dysmorphia was a huge thing for me. And a lot of people think that body dysmorphia is your body, just here. That never affected me. It was all here. I struggled massively with saying that I believed I was ugly, and I used to hate myself. And I hid it well, because as you guys know, I'm always smiling. Everyone goes, Baz, well, I'll go into a regular coffee shop, and they go, Baz, you're always smiling and happy. But it's just the way I am. I am now. The body dysmorphia doesn't take over my life anymore. But what it was is that I went through from the age of 7 up until my early 20s, when I decided, right, I need to get rid of this now, because it took over my life.
So can I just ask you, it's not like when you say, we've spoken, I've never, there's something what you just said there, and when you said you dealt with something from a very early age, and then you kind of use it so much until it becomes normal, what's the word they're looking for? It's almost like it's almost like you train yourself.
Of course you do, yeah.
So and you train yourself with it so much to the point where it's just part of your life now. So when you said that, I kind of get that as well. When I've gone through stuff, obviously I'm not going to cut off what interest, but
no,
it's just I've gone through stuff, but when people say, "Oh, you're always smiling," but I think when the fact of the matter is, there was lots of times when I was younger and I wasn't always smiling, but I think it's like you say, you kind of mask it over and just kind of pretend that nothing's really hurting too much, but to the point where you kind of live it. But I think it's probably a good thing to learn yourself to do, to be always in that happy mode, but also still dealing with what you got to deal with in the right way. But it's almost that thing of oh, this is what I always have to do now, and it becomes people recognize. It's nice to be known as recognized with a smile rather than recognize.
That's it. And that 100%. I don't want to go too much deep. There's a lot to talk about body dysmorphia, and that could be a podcast. We could talk about all that kind of stuff, because what we do, especially what you two do in terms of that stage, perfectionism hits hard, doesn't it? I'm sure. So I use that perfectionism in a completely different way. So it would ruin my day. I'd cancel plans with girlfriends, etc. But I wouldn't tell them what the reason was. I'd lie. It took over my life massively, and I went through therapy. But I'm now in the depths where it doesn't take over my life anymore. But I'm in the part of my life where it's still a part of me, still on a deeper level. But talking won't get rid of that. So now I'm going on a bit of a journey to kind of work on the deeper levels of stuff. So that's where I'm at. And then, so now in terms of my business this year and stuff, working with people like yourselves and doing the podcasts and stuff. And and then going from there with the business, with physically, like you say, you've got your own personal goals for training and fitness. I'm training for the High Rocks training, which I don't know if anyone knows of the High Rocks. High Rocks is, they always say like it's a bit of CrossFit. Is there a big CrossFit? Who knows? But it's like it brings a lot of fitness and running into it. So wall balls, burpee ball jumps, all that kind of stuff. So I want a goal. That goal's on the 30th of April. So that's my training goals. Business goals are just progressing. And so that's me really. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk more about myself and everything and who I am. But yeah, that's everything about me at the minute. What do you reckon? Go on, Amit. There you go.
So yeah, I'm Amit, and I'm a certified IFBB PT. I've been a PT for a while now, but when I first qualified as a PT, I wasn't really confident to basically kind of like teach people how to get in shape, as I wasn't in shape myself. And that's actually one of the reasons why I started to compete, because I thought, right, I could get myself into a position where I'm dieting, so I'll be in a position where I know what the client will feel like as they're dieting, so it gives me a deeper understanding. And it made a massive effect on my confidence as a personal trainer, because I was a personal trainer without being a personal trainer, if that makes sense. I was always giving advice. People come in asking me. They were curious about the foods I was eating, curious about the exercises I was doing. So that's me. Qualified as an IFBB PT. Done my first show back in 2018, and one of the ways that actually came about was I had a really good friend, bodybuilding champion, British champion. I used to go all over with him to support him for his shows. So went nationally and internationally. Went to Spain. In Spain, we went to Madrid, Barcelona. And it was actually in Barcelona. I seen this men's physique guy. The lineup, absolutely phenomenal. John, you'll know. Arnold Classics.
Yeah.
It's just best of the best.
I've never been to a live show.
Never. You have to go.
You need to go to a show or go to an expo.
Okay.
Go to a show or an expo, and like it kind of puts like a different it's almost like if you look well, you kind of look and go, I need to go.
That's what it was.
It kind of gives that extra push.
It's 100% motivating when you see these guys, girls as well. In shape, you could see how much hard work they put in.
Brilliant, man. So it's good inspiration, that is.
So I seen the lineup and I thought, wow, amazing. And at the end of the show, the crowd, they ran up on the stage, they started taking pictures, started doing bodybuilding poses. I made a vow to myself. I was like, I'm not stepping foot on that stage until I'm competing myself. So I did it a few years later, but the dream was actually to compete in Spain. And I managed to do that during the most hardest times ever, during COVID. And that was a test to myself. And that's another story which we can go into later. But I fulfilled my dream. Competed on the Spanish stage in Alicante, competed internationally. So,
man, that's brilliant.
For me, that's done now. Going forward, it's more about helping people, getting them not even in the best shape, but more so in the best mind as well. Improving things that they've always wanted to improve. So,
I mean, we're pretty much age-wise, we're all in mid-30s both, aren't we?
Are we?
I was have to throw that out there because people think I'm about 25, so I need to throw that out there.
This face paint has helped me. I thought, I'm like, look at Baz coming around here with all his all his youthful energy. He doesn't realise I'm making all these creaking sounds with my knees and my back. If I was like, you look great, John, but I'm feeling
Get into the car after the gym, you crumble.
Well, we'll get to that. But I actually thought about that this morning. Obviously the age range and whatever. Because usually when you see these kind of things being put together, everyone's roughly around about the same sort of age. But I think there's that one. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Between the three of us, it doesn't matter.
Age doesn't matter with us.
I think when you've given me some gems, I'm like, how old is this guy? How has he been on this earth? You talk to me, you've been on this earth for way more.
It's saying that. It's when people probably say you're an old soul.
Yes. Yeah.
Some people have said that to me, and people think that people that don't understand when someone calls you an old soul, it's because you've been through a lot. lot of stuff your whole life. That's what an old soul means. You've been through a lot of experiences.
I've been called that before.
And that's why, because you've been through a lot, and you obviously, this could be for another time. Our backgrounds, that's another podcast, that is, isn't it? Yeah. We've touched on it. I remember you touched on it in one of our Zoom calls, and I was like, man, I want to know more about that. And yourself as well. I'm like, man, I didn't know that about you.
Like, to be continued.
To be continued. Yeah, and we said this, we'll save it for the podcast, but that's the thing, like, we've all three of us, it's just everything that we do, because we bring well-being on different part into our work with our clients. Like, I've been through grief, I've been through hardship of relationships, I've been through trauma, I've been through depression, I've been through anxiety, I've been through all of it. I don't teach or support clients when I haven't been through myself. Yeah, like you, and that's why I remembered it, because you said the nutrition, everything you did on stage, you can bring it to your client because you've experienced it. Like, someone comes to me to go, well, actually, someone messaged me randomly and said, do you help people that compete? I said, no, I'm not the one for you. This is before, I would have referred them to one of you two, but it was before I kind of was talking to you. And I was like, nah, that can't be me. As much as that could have been nice income, but that's not about what I'm about. It's about, right, I want to help people, I want to support people. And what I strive to look for, my niche, and what normally comes to me is normally about 30 and above in terms of the one-to-ones. But then parents with their teenage and younger children, that's who would come. But naturally, people, I've noticed with my work, they gravitate towards you for a reason. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And it's because, like, I think what you said before about because I think the thing is, and like, I'll be the first to say this, that like sometimes, like, people will go, they'll choose like somebody who they're going to coach or going to train them based on their physique. I'm lucky. Honestly, I won't say I'm lucky to look the way I've worked I've worked really hard, and there's things that I know, and there's still things that I don't know. I'm never going to sound an expert on anything, but like, people's probably looking at, like, you know, you saying before about you're always giving people tips and stuff in the gym and all the time, and like, I used to do that all the time. I used to like look across and see someone doing something, like, I want to help them, and go and say, excuse me, do you mind if I just give you a hand with this, because like, that's not right. But I know where you're coming from, where you say, I want to live it first. And like, obviously, I think that's probably why I got into my thing. But like, I really get when you say, like, I need to be in it first, then you can talk about it, because we all probably know someone who is book smart on a subject. That's right. But you say, well, when did you do it? They say, well, I've never actually done it, so I've just read a book or read it on a piece of paper. So but like, when you can tell people know someone who's genuine when it comes from there, and when you say, well, I know what that feels like. Exactly. And that's where you like make the connections, and I think that's probably why we have made that connection, because like, definitely, man, because Baz, you told me about things where you've like your dysmorphia and everything else, and like, I can relate to that. And then when you've said, like, getting on stage, because I remember, like, obviously me first, I was like never interested in doing that kind of thing at all. So, but I do get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that there's so many things that we're going to talk about. I mean, John threw out gratitude yesterday to us. There's going to be, you know, all the things that fears is a big one, man. We've spoke about that before, and like, just, I'm not going to go into depth of it, but I was just saying this before to Amit. I'm currently growing I'm straight up to the point, man. I'm currently growing my hair now, and but this is the thing. The thing is, for me, I've always, like I said, it was one of my big things of body dysmorphia. So that was a fear of mine. Like, even my hair would grow like probably like a millimeter or something. I think, I need to get my hair cut. Do you know what I mean? Because that's how it took over my life, that perfectionism. But I'm currently facing that fear of just letting it grow now. So as we go through the podcast when I'm recording, mate, I'll see me different cats or whatever. We're going to do a time lapse on it. And then, like, obviously, like, by the end of the you talk to us like this. I'll have a man bun. You know what I mean? I'll have a man bun and everything. I mean, different caps on, or look like Oasis and stuff. But that's the thing. Like fears, what hold a lot of people back. Goals, worries, and one thing that came to me not long ago, and I heard it on actually another podcast, it was a big one, like worldwide one, and they say to yourself, and this, I always bring myself back to that present, because he said, you know, when you have an illness like cancer, or you have something that's about, you don't think of anything else other than getting healthy. You don't think about anything other than cancer and getting healthy. When you don't have that, you think about all fears, worries, blah, blah. All those fears and worries disappear. And that's a huge thing, man. Like, because of mindset.
It gets pushed to the forefront, doesn't it?
It all becomes irrelevant. All the worries and fears, man.
Else is irrelevant. It definitely is, man.
And that really is a big thing for me when it helps me and all that kind of pushing in life. Do you know what I mean? So
is there I'm trying to think what else, Amit? Because I know there's a hell of a lot more you can get.
There's a lot more, but
there isn't there.
I think we'll have to save it for more the podcast.
Yeah, as I say, like, listen, this is our first day, and I think it's more so like getting used to the environment.
Yeah.
Like, I think like within the last, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes, I think I don't have a problem with talking, as you probably know.
Same here.
We have a problem with talking, but I think like within like the last, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes, I've kind of relaxed a little bit now. I'm not really looking at anything too much, but like, can I have a go, or tell you about me, or
go for it, John. So,
if anyone doesn't know me, my name is John Collins. I'm also a PT. I'm a NLP practitioner. You know what? Yeah, and whenever I start talking about myself, I freeze and forget about everything that I've done. Someone remind me what I've done.
It's great. You're a dancer. We're
not going to talk about that. Right, so I do coaching. I do online coaching. I do bits of like bits of mentoring, and there's a lot. Obviously, there's a lot of like what you do, Baz, and what I want. Yeah. I've had a little taste. I've done some public speaking. It puts the fear of God into me every single time, but I think I've done it like a couple of times now. I want to do a little bit more of that. I'm just generally like helping people mentally and physically. I've been around fitness industry and do what I'm doing like for many years. Like, I've been training since I was about from about age of 19. If anybody's listening to this now who has not heard before, that like obviously the reason, not the main reason why I started training, but like I got stabbed when I was about 19 or so. Nick could have lost my life, but I'm here to tell the story. Started just doing home training. Got into home training for many years. Didn't really see a gym until I was didn't go into a gym until I was 23. And I never kind of trained for a look. I just more so trained for a feel. And then I've kind of just like carried on doing that for as many years. And I became a dad at 30. That's like pretty much like the biggest highlight of my life. And I think from my son being born, that's when like a lot of things started changing around for me. So I started like looking at things like a little bit more. So I'm like, right, I've got someone who's looking at me now. So I've got to show him how to be a man, and like I'm going to show him like how to navigate through. And I think there's like, you know, I may have skipped like a hell of a lot with my story, but I say as we keep on saying, we'll get back to that one day. But like, I've gone through levels of trauma, obviously with like in just general day life, with family and stuff like that kind of thing. But for many years, I've battled all this on my own. So there's like a lot of where I've got to it's been on my own. It's like it's been that fear of not really asking anyone for help, but like figuring things out. And I think because like I generally spend like a lot of time, because if you don't know me, like I'll talk to a lot of people, not many people know, like I spend a hell of a lot of time on my own. So when you kind of know your own head and you start to like work these things out, you can kind of like navigate like a little bit better. So like anything which I've done from like either coaching myself, like to do my first three or four competition, all my PCA. If you don't know PCA is like the amateur bodybuilding like association at a high level. I coach myself for all those shows on my own. Came third in my first show. This was like 2017. It was like a few years after my son was born. Sorry, you have to watch me because I jump and chop and change. So please try and make some sense of what I'm saying somewhere along the line. But like, it's been a very kind of self discovery on a journey on my own, and picking these things up along the way. But like while you're in the midst of doing something, and sometimes you don't look at yourself while you're doing these things, and obviously I see people who spot me and they say, well, how do you do that? Well, that's amazing. Like, you know, like going from not ever having like too much praise or anybody like give you like say to you, well, that's a good job or well done there.
Yeah.
I've just like navigated through, and like it's kind of led me to where we are now with confidence and everything else. As I say, like, I've never been one to like try and get myself in a shape so I can tell people I look good. I've always just wanted to be good inside here.
Yeah.
And like I think the more I've got better with that, like the more like I can kind of discover different things. So like I still feel like a student at this moment in time. As much as I've done.
Always a student, aren't we?
Yeah, always a student. God, as I said, like, you know, as soon as like I put myself on the spot, I just forget about every single thing.
When you've been through a lot, though, you always sometimes you do forget. I mean, like when I was talking, I was like, oh man, this, and then when I reflected after saying what I need to say, then you could think, oh, I could have said that. But there will be a lot. There's going to be a lot for us to talk about.
Yeah, most definitely. But as I say, like I think like my passion right now is like obviously coaching, getting to mentoring, and helping people. I know it sounds like a bit cliche, but like helping people. But like I get a lot from that. I do get a lot from it, and making connections with people. I'm very much interested in I'm so interested in people and like their choice and their decision why they do things. Not from a judgmental point of view, but I'm just very, very interested. And I think the more I've had like that interest, the more I've had like give space to listen to people and without judgment. It's kind of opened up to do as much more. As much as what I've done over the years, to the point like where now we've got our own podcast to talk about these things. And as I say, like I think sometimes when you hear me kind of get like a little bit stuttery, it's because like I'm excited and like I'm very passionate. I am passionate about it, but like it's almost like a child, like a nervous, childish energy. I've got like, jumping from this to the other, but like what have I missed? Come on, guys, help me out here.
Bring it to the next one.
Bring it.
Yeah. I think what we can do is, like I say, we've kind of spoke about very broadly about what we do, and then we can just pick things. You know, I want to hear more about how your depths of your mind with the competitiveness and yours as well. That would be a great podcast to go right. What people want to hear that, like, because I've heard people that have done what you do and then go, they'll never do it again. Like they go, my mental health was messed up doing it. Do you know what I mean? So there's a certain amount of mental strength you've got to have when you do that, and to do it more than once is you got to, haven't you?
When someone asked me about that before, because like I have people say to me, "Will you train me or coach me to do like bodybuilding?" Because like you've done what you've done in the way. I'm like, I couldn't do it because I've seen it's not for everyone. I wouldn't deter anyone from doing it. They say, "Well, how did you do it so well?" And I said, "Well, because I've kind of come to the conclusion because I was such like I'm not a lonely person. Make me sound like I've got no friends, but because like I do things such on my own, I didn't have too much outside influences. So when you do what me and Amit have done, you battle more than just the diet, and you battle more than just getting into the gym. You have to remember that those are very small parts of your day. You only eat 3 times a day or 4 times a day, and you only train in the gym for a couple of hours. But it's everything else what comes around with it. So if you've got like a partner, or if you've got like if you're a female, you've got like a husband, or if you're whichever you've got a partner, you have to deal with it. They have to see you in a different light. And then when you see like their emotional state is like, oh, what's wrong with them, and you're like, nothing's wrong with me, this is like the effect of what's happening. So like I think over the years when I've done what I've done, like I didn't have anybody there like to say anything too much to me. I think like it has affected like relationships and stuff like that, which I kind of know, but like I think ultimately when you've got like the goal set in sight, and then being able to keep your head together is a big thing. It's a really, really big thing. So, and hence why like I've gone and done it. Like I've just repeated the process over and over again. But I say not everyone can do it because it's so like the restrictive drinking, restrictive like social life, restrictive like food and everything else what goes with it. It's a big old minefield. But like I say, like yeah, we can definitely swing back on that as well. I think the other thing we'll probably like ask people like who are watching is like if anything like they want to like any suggestions of things we want to talk about as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we're kind of like
we'll stick it on our socials, guys, and you can comment on it for us.
Yeah, so like I think, as I say, like I'm waffling around a little bit today because it's like none of this is planned. I don't think we should have had anything planned. I just want this I want like this show just to be as like
you've got more relaxed on that sofa, John. It's like you're at home now.
I think I just want
sleeping
on I'm not far off. I think that's what this should show, just to be like very natural, very organic, and not kind of like very set in its ways. But like if you've got like anybody like who wants to throw something out there because of like obviously Baz, because of your field or because of your field, Amit, or because of my field, and not just that, because like it's very, I say, like health, wellness, and fitness is very broad. It's not just about lifting weights and running across trainer or running the machine. It's very, very broad. So we can, like it's, and I think that's why I'm so excited about it, because I've
got the vision, like, bringing people in who've been through different parts of traumas.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like anorexia or, because that's part of that relates to health.
Yeah.
But who've suffered with different kind of internal diseases or whatever, anything that's really affected their life.
Yeah.
People who are currently struggling in life but trying to work their ass off.
Yeah.
They're the inspiring for me. People have been through such hardship, but where they've got to now, you know what I mean? And there's and obviously, which take away the ego from it all.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. I think I feel there's so many unsung heroes.
Yeah.
So when
100%.
people say to me, "Oh, John, you've won trophies or you've got this," I'm like, that means absolutely nothing. You have gone through, obviously, like surgeries, like life-changing surgeries, or you've watched like people. Like you watch people like either die within your family or that kind of thing. Like I know it sounds like a bit more, but like when you're able to come through the other end of that and kind of, not to be kind of like physically scared, but like you can kind of come out there kind of like and still manage to navigate through your day and get on. Those are real heroes to me, not like someone like myself who's won a trophy. I think a trophy's okay to good and bad, it like to show, but people don't get trophies like for going through like for like cancer victims, or whether you've got like certain kind of illnesses or whatever. Like it leaves big scars. It leaves big scars within families, and like when you go through something, you're not just going through it on your own. It's like if you've got family members and friends who love you as much as they do, like they're going through it as well. So I think like they're probably more so like the real heroes. But like I say, it's health, wellness, and fitness is a very, very broad scale thing. So like it'll be good. It'll be good.
Definitely, man. Definitely. But yeah, I mean, we can wrap it up then, can't we, in a sec? But I just want to say one last thing. I'll just say I'm looking forward to connecting more with you two. Even more through the podcast and even outside of the podcast. I haven't had a session with you yet, Amit, so I'll have to get a session with you one day. But I just want to say, everyone, thanks for listening, and just remember, just make your corner of the world as happy as it possibly can be, guys. That's all you got to do. Comparison kills. Reflection is the biggest part of progression. So I'm going to leave you with that. So
no, like I'll just say, like I said, with it's. I keep on saying it's exciting, but it really is. I think as I've got a little bit more relaxed here talking about it now, there's like a hell of a lot of stuff we're gonna cover, and even with like some like even like just doing like even some of the outside interviews and bits and pieces. This is our thing. We're gonna make it like a real thing, not just obviously just like us three here chatting here. We'll obviously say with the guests and doing stuff as well. So
wicked, man.
Yeah,
wicked. Are we doing safe?
Yeah, I'm
good, man.
Glad we got the ball rolling now. It's been a long time coming.
It has,
hasn't it? But I'm glad we've made it possible. So this is the start of something big.
100%.
Yeah, excellent.
Thanks, guys. Everyone, thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys.
Look forward to speaking to you again really soon. We're going to shut out. So take care, everyone. See you in a bit.
See you soon. Bye-bye.